You've probably heard the whispers. OpenAI is building a physical device. And if your first thought was, oh great, another Humane Pin situation, honestly, I don't blame you. Every AI hardware launch so far has been a spectacular flop. But here's the thing. This time, Jony Ive is involved. The guy who designed the iPhone. And what they're building? It's nothing like what you're imagining right now.
Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead.
So in this video, I'm going to break down everything we actually know about OpenAI's upcoming AI companion device. What it looks like, why they're building it, when you can get your hands on one, and the very real challenges that could kill this thing before it ever ships. I've gone through every credible leak, every interview, every analyst report, so you don't have to. And I'll be honest, some of what I found genuinely surprised me. Let's get into it. What is this thing? Alright, so let's start with the basics. Late last year, OpenAI acquired Jony Ive's design startup, and together they announced they're developing a new category of AI-powered hardware. Not a phone, not a laptop, not smart glasses. Something entirely different. From what we know so far, the device is roughly the size of an old iPod Shuffle. It's palm-sized, screenless, and designed to be worn, possibly around your neck on a lanyard. It has a built-in camera and microphone, but zero display. No buttons to speak of. The whole interaction model is voice. You talk to it, it talks back. That's it. Now here's where it gets interesting. This isn't a standalone gadget trying to replace your phone. It's designed to work alongside your existing devices. Think of it as a third pillar of computing. Your phone, your laptop, and now this little AI companion sitting on your chest or in your pocket, quietly observing your surroundings and waiting for you to need it. Under the hood, it's expected to run OpenAI's latest model, essentially a portable ChatGPT that's always on. You could ask it to read your emails, manage your calendar, answer questions, control smart home devices, take meeting notes, all completely hands-free. The engineers at OpenAI have reportedly rebuilt their audio models from scratch, so that voice becomes the primary interface, not a secondary one. And Sam Altman has been very deliberate about how he describes the experience. He says people who've seen early prototypes were surprised by how basic it looks, almost disappointingly simple. But that's the point. Jony Ive himself said the ideal device is something you use almost without thought. No learning curve, no setup wizard, just talk. Why is OpenAI building hardware? Okay, so this is the part that really caught my attention, because on the surface it seems weird, right? OpenAI is a software company. ChatGPT lives on your browser and your phone. Why on earth would they jump into hardware? Sam Altman has this analogy he keeps coming back to. He says using our current devices is like walking through Times Square. Flashing lights everywhere, constant notifications, every app screaming for your attention. And he wants this new device to feel like the opposite. Like sitting in a cabin by a lake, calm, peaceful. It only speaks when it has something worth saying. That's the philosophical pitch. But let's be real, there's also a business angle here. OpenAI is spending billions on AI development and isn't expected to turn a profit until 2029. Hardware sales could be a massive new revenue stream. Altman reportedly told staff internally that the Jony Ive partnership could add roughly $1 trillion in value to the company. $1 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. And then there's the strategic play. Right now, if you want to use ChatGPT, you're doing it through Apple's App Store or Google's Play Store or a web browser. All platforms controlled by someone else. A proprietary device lets OpenAI own the entire stack. The hardware, the software, the experience. No middleman. No platform tax. Full control. Some analysts have even pointed out that the timing of these announcements, right around Google I/O, probably isn't a coincidence. OpenAI is playing the narrative game just as aggressively as the product game. How could this change your life? Now let's talk about what actually matters. What this means for you and me as users. Picture this. You're walking into your office in the morning. Instead of pulling out your phone, unlocking it, opening your email app, and scrolling through 50 messages, you just say, "What's important today?" And your AI companion reads you the 3 emails that actually matter, reminds you about your 10 a.m. meeting, and tells you your afternoon call got rescheduled. All before you've even sat down. Or you're traveling abroad and you see a sign you can't read. Instead of fumbling with Google Translate, the device's camera sees what you see and just tells you what it says. No app, no typing, no friction. That friction removal is the whole thesis here. OpenAI is betting that the reason most people don't use AI more isn't because the AI isn't good enough. It's because the interface is too clunky. Opening an app, typing a prompt, waiting for a response, that's too many steps. A dedicated, always-on voice device eliminates all of that. And it's not just consumers. Think about doctors who could have an AI assistant in their coat pocket during rounds. Students getting instant tutoring while they study. Field workers getting hands-free technical guidance. The use cases multiply fast once you remove the screen from the equation. If OpenAI gets this right, it could genuinely reduce how much time we all spend staring at our phones. And honestly, that alone might be worth it. When is it coming? All right, the timeline. And I'll be straight with you. It's a bit messy. Here's what we know. In January 2026, Axios reported that OpenAI is on track to unveil the device in the second half of this year. Sam Altman himself said back in November 2025 that prototypes already exist, and the product should arrive in under 2 years. So that math puts us somewhere in late 2026 to early 2027. And this is a big but, there are signs of delays. TechCrunch and the Financial Times have both reported that OpenAI has hit some significant roadblocks. One of the biggest? Teaching the device when to talk and when to stay quiet. They're calling it the personality problem. Because an AI that interrupts you at the wrong moment isn't helpful, it's annoying. Getting that balance right is apparently proving harder than expected. There's also a court filing, spotted by Wired, that suggests the device won't actually ship before February 2027 at the earliest. So my best guess? We'll see an official announcement or demo by late 2026. But if you want to actually buy one and hold it in your hand, you're probably looking at sometime in 2027. With broader availability potentially stretching into 2028. The big challenges. Now I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't talk about the risks, because there are real ones. Let's start with the elephant in the room, privacy. This is a device with cameras and microphones that's always on, always listening, always watching. If that sentence didn't make you a little uncomfortable, it probably should. Remember the backlash Google Glass got? People were calling glass wearers glass holes and banning them from bars and restaurants. An always-on OpenAI device could face the exact same social stigma. OpenAI says they're working on privacy protections, but the details are thin. Who stores the data? How long is it kept? Can law enforcement access it? These aren't hypothetical questions. They're deal breakers for a lot of people. Then there's the hardware challenge. Running a model as powerful as ChatGPT in real time on a device the size of an iPod Shuffle without lag, that's an enormous engineering problem. Early reports suggest the device might offload heavy computation to your phone or laptop, which raises its own questions about latency and battery life. And we can't ignore the graveyard of AI wearables that came before this. The Humane AI Pin launched to brutal reviews. The Rabbit R1 was dead on arrival. Consumers have been burned before, and OpenAI will need to give people a genuinely compelling reason to carry another gadget. Finally, there's competition. Apple is building AI into everything. Google has Gemini across its entire ecosystem. Amazon has Alexa. Meta has smart glasses. OpenAI is walking into a crowded arena, and brand loyalty runs deep. Having the best AI model might not be enough if the hardware experience doesn't match. The bottom line. So here's where I land on this. OpenAI's AI companion device is either going to be one of the most important product launches of the decade, or it's going to be a very expensive lesson in why software companies shouldn't make hardware. There's really not a lot of middle ground. The vision is compelling. A calm, screenless AI companion that just works. Designed by the man who gave us the iPhone and powered by the team behind ChatGPT. On paper, that's an incredible combination. But the execution risks are massive. Privacy concerns, hardware limitations, consumer skepticism from past AI wearable failures, and a brutally competitive market. All of those are real obstacles, and any one of them could sink this thing. What I do know is this is worth watching closely. Because if Sam Altman and Jony Ive actually pull this off, the way we interact with AI is about to fundamentally change. And I want to be paying attention when that happens. That's my take. What's yours? Would you actually carry an always-on AI companion? Or is this a privacy nightmare waiting to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to hear what you think. And if you got value out of this, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.